All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to begin in Psalm chapter 86, verses 11 and 12. Teach me your way, Lord, and I will live by your truth. Give me an undivided mind to fear your name. I will praise you with all my heart, Lord my God, and I will honor your name forever. If you've sat through a history class recently, you might be familiar with a man by the name of Hernan Cortez. Hernan Cortez sailed from Spain in 1519 all the way to Mexico with an ambition to take over, and in a 2-year campaign, took over and defeated and wiped out the Aztec Empire. Now, there's a little bit of a rumor, we're not really sure if it's true or not, but when he landed in Mexico with all of his ships and all of his men, he's rumored to have said, "Burn the ships. Burn the ships." He had a very clear message for his warriors, and it was, there is no retreat, there is no plan B, there's nowhere else to go. We are either going to be successful or we are going to die here. He had no room for ambivalence in the mission. We don't really like ambivalence much in our society. One proof of that is sports. How many of you are baseball fans? Baseball people? Just so you know, I asked God this morning if you guys could talk in church. He said it was totally cool. So you can engage, all right? I wanted you to know it's okay. Baseball fans, how do you feel by a show of verbal response when I say the New York Yankees? Yep, see, you either love those guys or you hate them. There's no ambivalence with the Yankees, is there? There's no middle road. There's no, well, I sort of like them, kind of whatever. You either love the Yankees or you hate the Yankees. No ambivalence. Now, what about the rest of you God-fearing, upright, standing, civilized human beings who prefer football? How about you guys? A few of you out there? Okay. How do you feel when I say the New England Patriots? There's no ambivalence there, is there? You either love the New England Patriots or you hate them. And all those years they were winning, people would say, well, you just hate us because you ain't us. I'm like, well, yeah, that's also true. But there is no ambivalence when it comes to our sports. We don't do ambivalence well for the most part unless we're talking about faith. And then somehow in faith, we're kind of okay with this middle of the road. I'm sort of in, I'm sort of kind of not, and we're kind of okay with ambivalence when it comes to faith. Now, last week we began a series of messages on a very well-known story of the Bible. Even if you're not like a churchy kind of person, you have probably heard the story of Jonah. Jonah's a prophet who runs from God. He jumps on a boat, he gets swallowed by a fish, he gets vomited up on the land by the fish, he's rescued by Geppetto, and he becomes a real boy. I mean, that's, well, I might be mixing up two stories there, but I feel like that's the gist, to some degree, of the story of Jonah. Now, many of us have heard this story from our childhood, and we're really kind of familiar with the whole big fish thing. But there's more to the story of Jonah than a cool plot line of a big fish that eats a guy. The story of Jonah is the story of God's uncomfortable grace. And the truth of the story is we are so much like Jonah. We are so much like Jonah. If you happened to miss last week, I'd encourage you to go back and watch that message. Alex did a great job kind of overviewing the entire book and setting us up for this series, so go back and catch that. But if you weren't here, just a quick recap. Here's what you missed. Jonah is a follower of God, but he's also a runner. He's a believer, but he's a doubter. He's a prophet of God, but he is not a very good one. If Jonah were written in 2022, we might describe him as an ambivalent disciple. Kind of, sort of in, kind of, sort of not. I like the grace of God, but I really only like it for myself. I'm not really interested in other people having it, but I do follow God, but I sort of, kind of. He's an ambivalent disciple. And the truth is, we can be the exact same way. So together today, we're going to walk through at least the first chapter of this story. And our hope together is that by the end of our time together this morning, we can say alongside of the psalmist, "Give me an undivided mind. I don't want to be an ambivalent disciple anymore." Let's pray together.